afternoon, everybody. I'm Richard, and my company is Sana, and we're making a sleep device that will allow anybody to put themselves to sleep anywhere in 8 to 10 minutes on average. So how did the story start? Well, this is me, January 23rd, 1992, in the desert just outside Sana'a in Yemen. And later on that afternoon, I crashed that Jeep off a bridge. I broke my back, ripped my aorta, ended up clinically dead for 8 minutes. And when I finally came out of a coma, there was a bit of a period of adjustment. And then I was told by the doctors, well, you've got a 5-year life expectancy because of the degree of chronic nerve damage pain that you're in. And so they told me there was no solution, that it was a death sentence, and that was it. So my choice was to listen to them and accept my death sentence or innovate. So the pain problem comes through sleep. If you're not getting proper sleep, your body's not actually recovering. And when you're over a certain level of pain, that is very extreme. But everyone having sleep problems ends up with other health problems. 90% of your waking health is to do with how well you're sleeping. So my mission was to solve the problem for myself, to enable myself to get to sleep. And this morphed into our company mission, which is to give everyone better sleep. So back then in hospital, the first thing that was tried was drug solutions. And I was put on so much morphine that it was knocking me unconscious, and it was still not enabling me to sleep or solving the pain problem. And people taking typical sleep drugs today, if you're taking a sleep drug every day, your chances of dying in the next 3 years are 500% larger than if you're not taking sleeping pills. So sleeping pills aren't an answer. Cognitive behavioral therapy I tried back then. It helps for some people, but it costs a lot of time and a lot of effort. And back in 1993, 94, there were a lot of consumer items, but there are a lot more now. But none of them really solve the problem if you've got a really big sleep problem. They will help you if you've got small problems. So after a lot of research, I ended up something like this, where it's using light at the retina of the eye, sound into the ears, and you see all these wires that are attached to this guy. They are an EEG, which is enabling us to actually tailor the stimulation for each individual to get anybody to sleep. The problem is, all the EEG stuff is very cumbersome. And the consumer-grade EEG that's available now isn't good enough for us to actually do what we need to do for tailoring the stimulation. So what we ended up with is this device in the corner here, which imagine that by your bedside. Imagine having trouble sleeping. All you have to do is reach over, pick that up, put it on, and go to sleep. So how is it working? Well, we're measuring your individual biometrics, in this case, heart rate variability, and we're using that based on 24 years of research and 700 plus test subjects to then drive the stimulation through the device that puts you to sleep. So in the world, roughly 1 in 3 people have sleep problems. 20% of those are quite severe insomnia. And within insomnia, the really hardest core cases of insomnia are those caused by severe post-traumatic stress disorder and those like I originally had for chronic pain. So our aim is to do double-blind clinical studies in those 2 hardest core of cases to prove ourselves so that we can prove to everyone that whatever your problems are with sleep, that our device can help you. So in the US, almost 1 in 2 people have occasional problems with sleep. 68 million people have problems every night or almost every night. And within that 68 million, 9 million are taking sleeping pills. And they're the people who are suffering long-term consequences for the side effects. So it's a $60 billion annual market in the US, and we're aiming for our device to retail for around $250 to hopefully solve this problem for many, many people, first of all here in the US and then in the rest of the world. So moving forward, right now we're creating more prototypes to expand our clinical trials that we've got currently going with UCSF and data analysis that is about to happen, hopefully, with Stanford Sleep Labs. And that's moving towards certification with the FDA and the CE in Europe before starting consumer sales with Bioloca, who are enabling us to do small batches to test everything we're doing before we do a final major consumer launch at the beginning of 2017. So this is a team. James on the left is our electrical engineer. He's actually in the UK at the moment. He's just had a new baby girl. That's Matt in the middle, who's our industrial designer, who's responsible for making this device look and feel really good. And that's me on the right. Because I've been at this for so long, and it's taken so long to get to where we are with evolving technology and things that are going on, I've built up a bank of extremely helpful people who really want to see this work. So Richard Branson used one of the earliest devices to put himself to sleep in the balloon for 3 years in a row, and he's going to give us a video testimonial with a new consumer device. Bertrand Piccard, at the moment, who's flying around the world in Solar Impulse, he's helping us understand the needs of pilots and shift workers. And Cormac Dodd on the right is setting up a 26-bed unit in the UK for trauma, mental health trauma patients, and who are going to do our research for us. So that's me, that's my story. We're Sana. Anybody with sleep problems, or people who know people with sleep problems or want to invest in this area, please come and talk to us afterwards. Thank you very much.